Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Exploring Dirt, Tracks, Trails, and Forgotten Tales. We're your hosts. I'm Dan.
And I'm Carm. And today we are taking you with us to historic Hat Creek Ranch that we visited last summer on our BC road trip when we went through central and northern BC.
Yeah, this was our first stop of the trip, and it was a pretty amazing one too. But before we got there, we actually left our home in Kelowna after work, so we didn't leave till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we needed a place to stay. So we stayed just outside of Savinaw at a campsite called Juniper Beach.
We did. We didn't get into the campsite until, oh my goodness,
it was after
probably
8.
I think it was closer. It was dark when we pulled in.
Yeah.
So 9:30 when we pulled in. We had a nice sight by the river, not that we knew it because it was dark, but we could sort of see it. We decided to not set up our tent. If you listened to our last episode, and we talked about some of our mistakes that we made taking a 5,600 kilometer road trip. This was one of them. Have a rooftop tent.
Or a trailer.
Or a trailer.
We opted for the rooftop tent.
Yeah, we did this year.
That's a spoiler.
We did not last year. So we ended up sleeping in the cab of the truck. That was our first of many nights in the cab of the truck on that trip. But anyways, it was nice. It was the first time we've ever stayed at Juniper Beach. Mm-hmm. We have gone back a couple of times. It is a provincial site. Most of the time in the middle of summer, you do need to reserve, but they do have, I think, 5 or 6.
I think there's 5, and they're kind of off to the right-hand side overlooking the river.
First come, first serve
they
sites.
have really nice views of the river and stuff like that, but there's not much cover on that side.
There's not. It's a lot of sun if it's hot. And if you know the Kamloops, Savinaw, that area, Thompson area, it gets pretty hot. Mm-hmm. But there are a few first come, first serve sites if you're there early enough, if you didn't have anything booked. I happened to book this one. We knew that we were going to leave late that day, and I wanted to have a place to sleep rather than the side of the road. Anyway, we had a really lovely night there. If you do stay at Juniper Beach, one thing to remember is you are right in between 2 railroads. So you will hear trains all night. So if you're a light sleeper...
Not the place for you.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
I'm going to tell you, it was not the place for me. I'm not even a light sleeper. But one of the trains that goes by, it depends where you're sleeping. But when it comes around the corner, that big light is like, boom, right in your face. You're like, oh, hello.
I'm fine. I can sleep through anything. I grew up that way. Oops. Like, honestly, my dad played in a band. They used to practice in our basement. You can knock on drums beside my head. And unless it's one of the kids crying, I'll wake up.
It's kind of like that when it's trains going by.
Anyways, was really great. We woke up early the next morning and headed north. And our first stop, like Dan said, was historic Hat Creek Ranch. Hat Creek Ranch is about 12 kilometers north of Cache Creek, so we weren't very far from it. Mm-hmm. We were there nice and early. We were there right when it opened. We were
the first people in the door.
We were. It was fantastic. So 12 kilometers north of Cache Creek. If you're coming from Vancouver, it's about 350 kilometers, about just over 4 hours northeast of Vancouver. And if you're coming from Kamloops, it's about an hour away, about 100 kilometers. To Hat Creek Ranch. And we pulled in, like Dan said, we were the first ones there, which was great.
Yeah, we kind of had the whole place to ourselves, which was really neat. We kind of had the whole run of all the buildings and everything. We didn't have to worry about tripping over other people. So yeah, that was kind of a treat.
Hat Creek Ranch is on one of the few places that you can still accessible to the original wagon road. The Gold Rush Wagon Road, a Cariboo Wagon Road up to Barkerville. So that was really cool. And we had it's the historic Roadhouse that was originally built in 1861, which was before the gold rush. It dates back to the Hudson Bay Company. And then they built onto it in 1901, which was the West Wing.
Yeah, that's really cool too, because inside there you can still see areas where they cut holes in the walls, so you can see the original logs and stuff coming through. Really cool. Lots of great history. The building was kind of creepy, just saying. So downstairs was really cool. They had a lot of neat displays on and whatnot, and self-playing piano, which I'm going to tell you was kind of fun. And I wish I had the technology to make it work, but it was a kind of, if you ever see that Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny thing where they're fighting with the dueling pianos, that's what it sounded like. So I was just enthralled with that because I'm a huge Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck nerd fan. So what can I say?
Yeah, he
But
is.
anyway, that was a lot of fun. And they had, old style playing cards and stuff there, like the original ones that just had like the ace was just one diamond in the center, and it was really cool. But the coolest part is when you got to go upstairs in these places. They didn't block them off. You had to walk around all these buildings as much as you wanted.
This is so cool.
So
You can even go
when you walk upstairs in this one, not only is it creaky, this is a reminder that this is probably haunted.
It's an old building.
You get up there and it's just, I don't even know how to explain how it feels when you walk up there. It's heavy.
It is. Well, and the first thing you see, we came around the corner and there's this old wicker rocking chair with a sign on that says no flash photography. I'm like, why? Apparently it's not good for the old wallpaper and that sort of thing. That's what we were told.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? Are we going to see ghosts in our pictures? Anyway, it's funny. Of course, I bring up the wallpaper everywhere we go when I go into these old buildings, and I just love the old fabric wallpaper. I don't know why, I'm just enthralled with it.
And do not touch the wallpaper.
Multiple layers of them too. So if you look really close, they usually keep a section open. Well, it's probably, they don't keep it open, it's ripped open. But they can see the different layers. They just like, I don't like that color this year, and they're going to slap another one over top of it. And some of them have 5 or 6 layers on them.
Yeah, well, there's linen underneath, and then they put the fabric wallpaper over top.
Oh.
That's how they used to put it on there. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Learn something new every day.
Look at that. I learned something
It's
today.
because I read the signs in all the places we go to.
I just like looking at cool stuff. I don't read.
It is really, really neat up there. There was one hallway that we couldn't go down. They must still be working on it. Said it was not safe. But there are, when you go upstairs, there's a bunch of rooms, and they have them really staged really well.
Yeah, with original stuff too. Like, it's not just, they didn't take new stuff and make it look old. It's
the old water
stuff.
The old water bottles, the water
like the
bottles,
pig one.
the potbelly pigs that were hot water bottles they used to put in their bed to warm up their bed. Anyway, there's lots of really neat stuff in there.
Yeah.
My favorite part when we got there, and because we were the first ones there wandering around, was the blacksmith shop was open. And they do blacksmith demonstrations.
I mean, I've been to a few blacksmith shops, and they just kind of do their own little thing and ignore you and whatever. But this guy he was right in our face. He's like, "Hey, how's it going? Come on in. What can I do for you? I guess what I'm doing right now." He was making nails.
Yeah.
And just so, I'm not sure if you know that, but we've said it in previous things we've done in the past, and like some of our shows that we've done on YouTube. Carmen loves old square nails. It's an infatuation. Like, everywhere we go, if we go into mine, she's like, "Is there a square nail you can find? Is there a square nail you can find?"
Old historic buildings, how old are they? Because if they're square, they're old.
Yeah. And the cool thing about these handmade nails is you used to have to make like 1,000 every hour or something like that.
Yeah, it was 1,200 a day or 12,000. I can't remember the exact number.
It was a lot.
I can't. If you watch our YouTube video, I have the fact rate.
Yeah.
Because we did a video on this. Okay, if you're not watching this, you can't see what I'm doing. But right behind me, he made me a square nail. If you can see that. He made me that, the blacksmith at Hat Creek. This was my favorite
one every 45
treasure.
seconds. One every 45 seconds.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And he did this it was under a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you can't see it. If you're watching, this was my favorite souvenir from our whole trip.
And if you want to watch it, it's on our YouTube video, and it shows him making it right there. It's really cool.
It's pretty neat. Anyway, amazing place to stay. And I wish we knew. So Hat Creek Ranch, you can stay there too. They have camping. They have RV sites, tenting sites, and you can get as rustic as you want. They have some with power, some without power. They also have cabins, a miner's cabin, and you can stay in an old covered wagon.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was really upset. Could you imagine just staying in an old covered wagon, pretending you're on the old Cariboo Wagon Trail, heading up to your next gold spot? That'd be so cool.
Well, you would be on the original wagon trail, staying in a covered wagon. We pulled in there, we walked in, and we're like, what? So we have not gone back there. I don't know how much it is. I wish I'd looked that up. But that is definitely on our bucket list to go back there and stay. And I heard they do ghost tours at night. Were they doing
I saw
that?
a video about that, but I don't know how much they're doing them.
Yeah. But they do have, there's people on site too. There's a lot of people around the property that will do a tour and explain a lot of the things to you about Hat Creek Ranch, its history, the buildings. And they have an Indigenous Interpretive Center there as well. It was just such.
It was really cool. And amongst the property as well, they have some horses that I believe would probably pull wagons and stuff, maybe.
Yeah, they have wagon rides.
But in amongst the property and some of the barns, they have old wagons, like old freight wagons and stuff. And they do have a wagon from like the BC Express days.
Yeah.
Um,
Bernard's Express.
Bernard's Express, yeah.
Yeah, they do. It was really well preserved.
Very
it's so
well
great
done.
to see these. If you're in the area or going through, make sure you take a couple of hours to go and visit. If you have more time, that's great. Like I said, we were there early in the season. We were the first ones there. We like being the first ones there because we get to just take our time and have a blacksmith make you a square nail. It does cost to get in. It's $19.50 for adults, $14.50 for seniors and children. 5 and under are free. Children are $11.50, I think. Anyway, and there's a family rate of $60. Mm-hmm. So that's includes 2 adults and dependents. So that's not bad.
Yeah, and there was other things going on that day that we wouldn't see because they go on throughout the day.
There's a music festival.
Yeah, that they put on that's free once you're inside. So, yeah, pretty cool.
All in all, fantastic first trip. That kind of set the stage for what we were going to see on the rest of our BC trip. We had 14 days, and we went all the way up to Watson Lake, and we are going to share those stories with you on future episodes. So stay tuned for those.
For that. Absolutely. Yeah.
But thank you for joining us today. If you want to see in person and the story come to life and some of the things that we're talking about, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Exploring Dirt with Dan and Carm, and look up Hat Creek Ranch, and you can check that out.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a wrap for this episode. So as always, stay curious, stay adventurous, and we'll see you out there.